Welcome to Papa's Workshop. I am really excited today. Today, we're going to test out the Rotary Roller by Fox Alien. Now to do this, I'm going to take the Fox Alien Basic Edition CNC machine and I'm going to convert it over from the CNC over to the laser. And then we're going to set up this rotary roller and test it out. Let's get started. A day in the shop with Papa in Papa's Workshop. To support my channel, please go to patreon.com/Papa's Workshop. In today's video, we're adding the rotary roller to the Basic Edition Fox Alien CNC machine. Now this Basic Edition Fox Alien machine works fantastic, and I've shown this and tested this one out and actually upgraded it to the 300 watt spindle from the 60 watt spindle. And today we're going to convert this back to the laser. So we're going to remove this spindle. We're going to add the laser. I'm going to show you the settings that we need to do. Now it's not really necessary, but because I'm going to remove the spindle, I'm going to go ahead and remove this controller as well. And we'll remove these wires. Now I'm going to go ahead and leave the nut on it, but I have taken out the bit. Now this is a 1/4 inch shank. Now I've also changed out the collet in here to be able to accept the 1/4 inch shanks. And I'll put a link in the description below where you can get those collets. So let me go ahead and lift this out. Now there's some grooves right here that the laser actually sits into. So the laser is going to drop right down into that point, just like that. And it'll slide all the way down. And then I'll just gently tighten it. I'm going to set this in temporarily and adjust the specific height when I get the rotary roller in place. Now you have to be real careful with these wires right there. And we may need to adjust this later, but for now, I'm going to go ahead and just snug this up. Now the wire to the laser is going to attach to the controller. And we're going to take the wires from the spindle and I'm going to secure them out of the way. Now I don't want the line from the spindle to get into the way. So I'm just going to take it, lay it up on top of the drag chain, and then I have just a little twist tie. I'm going to slip it over and just secure it in place. And we'll put another one on here too. Now this is really just a preventive measure. I don't want those wires to fall down to the rotary roller, but quite frankly, they could just lay across the back of the machine. And this is just temporary, but this keeps it nice and safe, and I don't have to worry about it. And then as far as the cord from the laser, I can do the same thing. I'm just going to attach it loosely up on top, and then it can go into the back side. And that's really all that's necessary to be able to manage the cables and keep them out of the work area. Now, like I said, it's really not necessary, but I'm going to go ahead and remove this plug right here. And that will take the controller for the 300 watt spindle out of play completely. So that's going to be set aside and stored. Now for the laser itself, that's going to plug in right up here at this point. Now when I plug the laser in, I need to move the switch over to the right hand side. And the other thing that I'm going to do is I want to be able to put a couple of ties on the laser cable right here to be able to hold it up and out of the way. I don't want it falling down onto the board. Now you notice I wrapped it just around the drag chain. I did not catch it underneath this rest that the drag chain sits on. So now the cable is completely secured and it's free to move on the machine, and nothing can bind or get into the way. We have the laser attached here, we have it plugged in, and we have everything else removed that we don't need. Okay, I've unplugged the Y2 motor, and I need to be able to have this cable longer to be able to attach it to the rotary roller. So I'm just going to take a little screwdriver, and you just slip right in there, and it releases this little connector. And then that will drop down, and that will be plenty. I'll plug this in to the rotary roller, and I also need to unplug the Y1 motor as well. So I'm going to come over here, and we're going to release this one. There we go. Because when you're using the rotary roller, this one will try to move the gantry, and we don't want that. So this is going to be unplugged, and the other side is going to be plugged into the rotary roller. And the last thing we're going to do is take the Y2 motor wire, and we're going to plug it in right here to the rotary roller. So all the mechanicals now are done. All the electrical part is done. So let's get into the computer system. I'm going to set up light burn, and we're going to do the first test. Now, as far as positioning the rotary roller, you want to be able to have it parallel to the gantry. So I'm just put a pencil line down here, and I'm just setting it up to be right there on my pencil lines. So now this is parallel to the gantry itself. For my test today, I just grabbed a scrap piece of dowel rod. Now this is actually 1 3/8 inches in diameter, and we're going to be able to test carve a number of different samples on here just to see how it works. When I set this dowel rod down onto the rollers, you can see it goes way too deep. So I need to go ahead and adjust and put this roller closer together. And to be able to do that, we're going to loosen this. We'll loosen this one. And then I'm going to loosen these screws on each side, and we're going to move this closer together. This little stop bar is going to be in the way also, so I'm going to go ahead and remove it. Now we'll take this and just move it over one. Let's see how that worked. That is a whole lot better. So now all we need to do is tighten these screws back, and then let's tighten the belt. And at this point, this will turn just fine. Perfect. And I went ahead and cut this a little bit shorter so it will just sit in here. Went ahead and adjusted this back so that it's parallel. And before I turn the machine on, I want to go ahead and move this over. That's going to hit the limit switch, so that's going to have to come up. Now I'm going to go ahead and adjust the height for this. That's going to be the perfect height. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this back down. Now I wanted to go ahead and adjust it by raising this up, because I needed to be able to raise it up the 30 millimeters, and this would have hit the limit switch right here. So by adjusting it now, that's actually taken care of. Now as a reference, I'm going to go ahead and draw a line across there so I know exactly where the top and bottom will be. I don't know if I'm going to need that yet, but I'm going to go ahead and have it in case I do. So I went ahead and set that in so that that line is on the vertical. And like I said, I don't know if I'm going to use it yet, but I definitely will use it to align the laser to be on the top dead center. I've opened up Lightburn, and the first thing I need to do is go to Tools right up here, and then scroll down for the rotary setup. Now over here, I need to be able to put this on the Y-axis, and this needs to be set for the roller. And I need to enable the rotary, And then this right here, the 360 millimeters, that will need to change, because this is how many millimeters of a rotation that we have on this. And in the manual it shows 39.17. So let me go ahead and highlight that, 39.17. And the other measurement that I need to put in here is this one right here for the roller diameter. Now I know the roller diameter is 26 millimeters, so I did the quick conversion, and that's going to be 1.02362 of an inch. Those are the most important information that I need, but I'm going to go ahead and put in the object diameter, and it's 1.375, and that automatically gives me the circumference of 4.31969. So that's done for you. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this now. To do this first little test, what I did is I set up a little small square right here, and I want that just 0.2 of an inch wide, but I want the height on the y-axis at the circumference. So that's my 4.3256. And then we're going to engrave this. So I have this set now where this line is on the vertical. I'm going to verify that my laser is set right on that line, and it is. So let's go ahead and see if we can carve this now. And you're seeing this for the first time. Now you see, it didn't quite make that full revolution, so we're going to have to make an adjustment. Then we'll do it again. I came back into this setting right here for the rotary setup, and I'm going to change this 39.17 millimeters, and I'm going to change that to I'm going to go with 42.17, and hopefully that'll be a little bit over, and then I can bracket that in. Back at this machine, I'm going to go ahead and carve this one more time. And this time it went past it. So what I'm going to do now is drop this number down. This was the 39. This was my 42. So we're going to drop that down now to right in between. We'll just try 40. So I'm back in the rotary setup, and we know now that the number between the 39 and 42, 40.17, and we'll do the same thing again. And all we're going to do is bracket this in until those two lines meet. Now if you look at this, that is almost perfect. Now I could tweak that a little bit more, but I think that's actually close enough for what I want to be able to do. Now what I've done is just went ahead and loaded in just a real quick little project that I can engrave on this. And we're going to go ahead and move the laser over to a new spot. So now let's go ahead and engrave this logo. So after doing 3 little tests and making the adjustments, now it's actually calibrated and I can do the logo. and you can look for yourself, that logo is turning out fantastic. I really like how this is working, and I can't wait to be able to use this on other projects. This is going to be a lot of fun. Now keep in mind too, I could rotate the image in the computer 90 degrees, and I could actually engrave this on the circumference. Now you have to keep in mind the total circumference. This one's actually longer. I would have had to make it smaller. And the best way to do that is to create a rectangle in your design that does not engrave, and use that box to be able to create your designs. Well, I think that turned out absolutely fantastic. Well, I hope that takes the mystery out of setting up the rotary roller. It's really quite easy if you follow some basic steps, and now the projects are virtually limitless. I can engrave on virtually any round type object that I want to, and I'm looking forward to do many, many more different types of projects. If you like this video today, and if you feel that it helped you be able to answer some questions, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. And the bell notification down there, very, very important. Hit that so that you'll be reminded and notified of all the different videos that I'm uploading. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching today. Hopefully you learned some few things, and I look forward to seeing you in my shop on the next project. Adding the rotary roller to the CNC machine was a lot of fun, and I'm real excited about doing a lot of different videos. But in the meantime, please go ahead and check out the videos over here so you can stay up to date in my shop. And again, I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in the future projects that I do in my shop.